Good evening, Buckeye Nation. Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. This is the Everything Buckeye Nation show. You have found us. I hope you are all having a wonderful evening. Next to me, as always, that's Corey Boyd. Corey, what's happening tonight, man?
What is up? Trying to put my hands in my pockets, and I realize I got my shorts on backwards, but that's not what this is about right now. It is all good, Buckeye Nation, a Tuesday at 6:37. My clock says above me. We are ready to roll. Let's just crush the competition like Ohio State did on Saturday. Did we play a game on Saturday? Was that a game? I don't know what that was. But let's have some fun. Let's go.
Can you call it a game? I mean, more like a walkthrough. I don't know. I tell you, though, I was a little nervous. 5 minutes into the ball game, we're losing 5-0 to Miami, Ohio. I mean, what in the hell is going on here? I was in a hotel room in West Virginia going, what is going on, man? This is not what I expected to see. And you know, I put out a supporter video the night before or 2 nights before, and I said, and I jinxed it because I said, we're going to win. It's all over with. It's easy. Okay, don't even worry about it. And then here we are. 5 minutes into the ball game, trailing 5-0 after a safety and a field goal. I mean, Miami kind of marched right down the field their first 2 drives. I was a little taken aback. How are you feeling?
You know, I didn't have any feelings. You know, I wasn't feeling that great, really, dealing with migraine issues, you know, trying to get through the game. It was 5-0. I wasn't really worried per se. You know, it was Miami of Ohio. The safety, it's like everything is going bad. I'm like, oh, here we go. I knew we weren't going to lose So I'm like, okay. And then I don't know what happened. It's like Ohio State said, okay, all right, you guys are getting a little too happy. Turn on the switch, Patrick Mahomes style, Golden State Warrior style. Boom, 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 boom. Game over. What? Good Lord. And like Scott Ewing said in the comments, hey, he's right. We did chuckle when he said 70-0. We said, oh, please. That's not going to happen. Well, just about happened. So, hey, man, I'm just all smiles about this team. I know it's Miami of Ohio. I know it's a rinky-dink team. But, man, a beatdown's a beatdown regardless who you play. Woo! I love what I see so far.
I tell you what, it's an exciting team to watch. Appreciate everybody in the comment section here early on. Want to get to a few names. Can't get to everybody. Julie, Tisha, Carrie Lynn, of course. Randy Russell, Scott Ewing. Some guy named Corey Boyd. Some guy named Clyde Boyd. Corey Shoemaker, Josh Robideau. What's happening? John Harbaugh in here. John, man. Whew. What a game. Josh Robideau says, what do you know about Butch Jones? Josh is trying to tell me that Butch Jones is going to be the next head coach of the Wolverines. We might get to talk a little bit about that later. Maybe. I don't think in this universe, as a good friend of mine put it, but who knows?
Oh, the Wolverines, I tell you.
Jonathan Guerin in here. Carrie Lynn, of course. Amber Decker. Appreciate everybody in here. Jamie Thompson, Lee Travis, David Diaz, and supporter Chris Hersey. I tell you what, man, I was very impressed with the quick response of the Buckeyes on Saturday. Okay, like we said, it's 5-0. Ryan Day's got to be like, all right, we had the ball for one possession. Miami did a good job down on the ball inside our own 3-yard line. A loss of 2. JK almost got a safety on the first play of the game, and then we call this long developing play action pass play from the 1-yard line. JK gets just run over really by DB. I was kind of disappointed in that. And strip sack, Justin Fields' first turnover of the season. Goes out of the back of the end zone. I'm thinking, what the hell's going on out there? Settle in. It's okay. It's not going to be another Purdue, not going to be another Iowa. Ryan Day settles the team in. Gets a little up-tempo offense going. Kind of get everybody engaged in the ball game. We score. Take a 7-5 lead. I don't know about you, Corey. I don't think I would have predicted a 7-5 first quarter. But then Justin Fields scored 6 touchdowns by himself in the second quarter, which is a college football record. It's never been done before. So quick 49-5 at half, and that was all she wrote. So I was impressed that they were able to turn it on so quickly, I guess I would say.
And technically, the game never ended. But we're not going to get on that.
How about that?
We're not going to get on that. The weather said enough is enough of this game. All right, we're tired. Let just stop the beat down. Let's throw a little lightning in there. Let's just. The ref said we're not even going to come back out. All right, we know what's going to happen here. All right, let's just end it. We're done. It is what it is. And we got to remember, I have to remember myself. I'm not going to speak for you guys. I have to speak for me. I have to remember that these are 19, 20-year-olds that are out on this field. I forget that sometimes. They probably walked out too like, man, this is Miami of Ohio. We got this. Like, come on. 5-0. Oh, whoa, okay. All right. Now we got to play. So sometimes it's going to happen. Then they probably said, what is this? What? End of story. So sometimes I forget that when I get upset, like we talk about this all the time, Jake. When we went to that basketball game and we heard everybody on the radio, this game is a blowout. Oh, please. What? So we forget these things sometimes, but it happens, and then a beat down, and that's it.
Yeah, J.D. McGinnis said, was that game called a mercy rule? Technically, no, but you might as well say so. There was a lightning delay that came in with 3 minutes left. In case you weren't watching anymore, because it was 76-5. A lightning delay came in, and they went to commercial break. I remember the commentator saying, "This is not a joke. There's a lightning delay. We'll be back after this." When we came back, the official had already called the game. He came out and said, "Due to the consent of both head coaches, the game is over." I don't think I've ever heard that in my life.
Me neither.
I mean, it makes sense. There's no reason to wait out a lightning storm to play the final 3 minutes of a 71-point ball game. I mean, come on.
Right.
But I tell you what, it was fun to watch. I have rewatched it a couple times. Any particular plays or any players stick out to you in your mind, Corey?
One play, and I know where people know where I'm going with
I
this.
think I know where you're going. Maybe not.
Garrett Wilson.
Okay, I do know.
Listen, man. When he caught that, listen, migraine or not, he made it worse, by the way. Holy crap. Oh, I forgot. Oh, that's what happened when he made that catch. I said, this guy, listen, I know we got talent, and I am not, either way, am I questioning Ryan Day and the coaching staff. But, man, I want to see this guy on the field more. I mean, my goodness. He mossed him, whatever you want to call it. Like, he hand-stiffed his head, then caught it, then re-caught it, then posed on him. I said, that's just disrespectful. All at the same time. That's the one play that stood out of the many. Man, he's going to be a problem, and I'm glad he is on our team. And you talked about him a lot last year. I got to give you your props. You was just like, this man is going to be a monster, and boy, whew.
Well, and not only does he have the skills to go up and get it, as we've seen this year, as we saw in the spring game, how about his punt return game? I mean, he took one almost to the house there in the fourth quarter, and I was really impressed. He's shiftier than I thought he was. So this kid's going to see a lot more playing time, I think. And, I mean, he's seen a decent amount of playing time, but when you got Austin Mack, Ben Victor, KJ Hill, of course, he doesn't play the KJ Hill position, but Chris Olave, you got these guys on the outside that are going to get more time than a true freshman will. But I tell you what, man, he was special. And the play I thought you were going to go to was the touchdown pass from Fields to Ben Victor on 3rd and 20. I mean, how do you play a deep zone defense so you don't get beat over the top? It's 3rd and 20. Fields puts it, I mean, in a great spot. Ben Victor, like you said, how about a mossing there? It goes up and gets it.
Yeah.
Gets the foot down. How good has Benjamin Victor been this year, dude?
Hey, that was my guy at the beginning of the year. I said it because he's always mad when he doesn't get the ball. I love it, though. When he doesn't get, he has an attitude about it. Like, man, come on, man. Like, he wants the ball every time. And I always say, when you have somebody like that in the red zone, that wasn't the red zone, though. That was just terrible defense. I don't know what they were doing, but at least throw one fade if you have a guy that tall. If it's one-on-one, throw it up. There ain't no DB 6'4". Ain't no DB running around 6'4". Throw it up. Give him a shot. He has the height. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but he has the height. He can catch it. He has an attitude when he doesn't get the ball. I like it. Some people may not like it, but hey, go ahead, Ben Victor. The slowest touchdown in Penn State, Ohio State history. My guy.
Yeah, man. I don't know what it is, but I wonder if Justin Fields and Ben Victor are like roommates or something, because they seem to have a special connection. Where he just finds Ben Victor when he needs him. And an incredible play on 3rd and 20, gets the foot down. What a catch. Excited to see what Ben Victor can do. I mean, this whole year has been fantastic. So I'm very excited about Benjamin Victor. A few folks in the comments here want to shout out. Nick Zoop says Buckeyes by at least 21 in Lincoln. We'll get to our score predictions a little bit later. Travis Napper in here, J.D. McGinnis again, Eric Slagle, Frankie Humes. Few folks I haven't seen before. Appreciate you guys watching. Give us a like and a share. And please, we are also on YouTube. Go and like our YouTube page. Subscribe to the Everything Buckeye Nation page on YouTube. Trying to get that thing up and running. Get a little more content out on that site. So appreciate that. If you don't mind hitting that subscribe button, you don't have to pay. So why not do it? Why not let it fly? A couple other things I want to get to about the Ohio State-Miami game before we move on to Nebraska was Chase Young. And we have this conversation every week like, damn, how good is Chase Young? This guy is an animal. Well, I was a little worried early on because I think it was like the first drive of the game, Chase Young beat his man Silly off the line and had a wide open lane to tackle the true freshman Gabbard at quarterback, and he just missed him. He couldn't bring him down. I was like, dude, what are you doing? This is the type of early sloppy play we can't show against an inferior opponent. Well, he made up for it. Chase Young had strip sacks on back-to-back drives from the opposite sides of the line, one on the left, one on the right, beat both men just to a pulp right off the line and just destroy the quarterback. It's nice that you just swat at the ball, and if it comes out, that counts as a sack, a strip, and that looks really good on his stat line. He's got 7 sacks now through 4 games. I still think that number's a little bit higher, but 14 is the record for most sacks in a season by a Buckeye, set by Vernon Golston. 14. Chase is halfway there, and we're not even a third of the way through the regular season. Whew. He might set an all-time record.
Should be 10 sacks, I think. Shout out to Travis Walker, who is on YouTube. Shout out to Travis Walker. Says Jameson is the new Campbell. There's a question on on Facebook. I don't know if you said it, but JD McGinnis said, do you think Nebraska is really a viable opponent, or do you think it will be a 50-point game?
You want to take that one, or you want me to?
You both can take it. You can start.
All right. I don't think it's going to be a 50-point game, and I think in terms of valuable opponent, I do think Nebraska is a valuable opponent, especially because I think they're going to be the best team that we've seen so far. That's probably a toss-up between them and Cincinnati or Indiana. But the thing is the atmosphere here, okay? This is our second road game of the year. It's Big Ten Conference. Now, we did play on the road at Indiana, but that was a noon game, and Indiana, they're Indiana, okay? So we're moving on from that. Nebraska is a different story, all right? Now, they've had some ups and downs this year, but the point is they're a big-time program. Scott Frost is a good head coach. They're going to have that place running. And in a couple years, I would really be afraid of this game. I was afraid of this game a lot before the season started. Now, seeing the play of Nebraska through the first 4 weeks, I'm not nearly as afraid as I was when all the hype was going on in the offseason. That being said, it's a night game in a raucous environment. That place is going to be going crazy, dude. I mean, absolutely crazy. I saw a video today on Twitter of how Ohio State's preparing. You can hear noise being pumped into the shoe. They're practicing at the shoe, and they're just pumping ridiculous noise into practice through this noise and try to prepare as best you can for this very tough road game environment. So I think they're a very valuable opponent. I've got the Buckeyes winning by at least 2 touchdowns, probably 3. I wrote my score prediction earlier, but no spoilers just yet. But I do think it's going to provide the toughest test so far, and that's why I think they're a valuable opponent for sure.
I'm with you on this. I think anytime you go into a Big Ten matchup at night, at their place, listen, you know how I feel about mobile quarterbacks going against them. I hate it. I just hate it with a passion. I want that quarterback to be as immobile as Tom Brady. Can't move. Once Chase Young gets there, it's over. But this is where we live in. You got that. The fans are going to be rabid. This is really, we had the road game. I get it. I understand it. But this is a true road test. Prime time Everybody's watching. Everybody and their mama is going to be watching this game. Justin Fields, listen, this ain't going to be, to me, I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But this ain't going to be no 59-7 game. Ain't going to be one of those. I don't see that happening. I want it to happen. I want every game to be like that. But I don't see it being like that. I think Nebraska is going to come waiting for Ohio State. I'll give my prediction later. But I think this will be the first tough test for Ohio State. Well, toughest test, obviously. So we'll see what happens. But I don't think it's going to be a 50-point beatdown. Definitely not like last week. We will see. God, I hate mobile quarterbacks. They gave us fits last year for a little bit with Dwayne Haskins, my guy, coming into the shoe when we wore our all black. Come on now. You can't give us fits on all black, but that's here nor there. So, but I think it's going to be a tough test for us. College game day is going to be there, I believe. Kirk Herbstreit on the call. It's going to be fun.
Well, and it's a good thing too because we haven't played a night game yet this year. Latest we've played was 3:30, and that was against Indiana or against Miami last week. And so I'm excited to get a night environment, especially because the next 3 games, maybe the next 4 games, are all going to be prime time night games. All right, so it's going to be good that we get this night road test. We got a night game this week at Nebraska. Next week, we have Michigan State Spartans coming to town. That's a night game. Then we get a bye week, kind of gather ourselves a little bit. But then the following week is at Northwestern on a Friday night. They're going to have some spooky stuff going on, and it's an 8:30 kickoff. And then the following week after that, Wisconsin comes to town. You're telling me that Ohio State and Wisconsin, who are likely going to be undefeated, probably top 7, top 8 matchup, isn't going to be put at least 3:30, probably a night slot, probably college game day coming to town. I tell you what, Wisconsin looked really good over the weekend, and I don't know if it was just their opponents or what. But I do want to talk about that game a little bit. Want to get to some comments here as well. David Campbell makes a great point. How about the team singing Carmen, Ohio in the rain? Love to see that. Did you see the video of Chase Young singing Carmen, Ohio?
No, I didn't.
Oh, man. I don't know if he's just funny as hell and just a great dude to be around, but he was getting after it, man. He looked like he was crying. He was putting some soul into it. And it was just so great to see. I was so happy to have that kid leading our defense, leading our team. Great point there by David Campbell. You got any comments over there you're looking at?
Yeah, I got a couple on YouTube. Timothy Roberts says Wisconsin's O-line and Taylor are worrisome. He says 48-17 Bucks. I think that's for Nebraska. And the Perfect 10 Sports Show, thanks for tuning in. They say Nebraska is the toughest road game to come, and Michigan State will be the toughest home game till we get to Badgertown. Thank you for all those
agree with that
on YouTube.
Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Josh McManus, my guy Mac Daddy, says, "Did you see my boy play last night?" David Montgomery is his boy, a Cincy native. I did. Love that kid. Randy Russell Carey, man, somebody said Urban to that team up north. What a joke.
You know what? You know what, man? Listen.
Uh-oh.
I was gonna make a video, but I've been dealing with these migraines and headaches off and on. I was gonna make a supporter video about it, but everybody's gonna get to hear this. I'm so sick of these Michigan fans, man. Listen, just because y'all are trash, just deal with it. All right. It is what it is. All right. If y'all did y'all watch the Big Noon? If you don't watch that show, that's the #1 college show. Tune in. Urban Meyer is just great on there. Giving Charles Woodson the shade, it was beautiful. Great thing to watch. And he gave him that, but then he shaded him at halftime. It was beautiful. But back to these fans, man. Listen, you get your butt whooped. Just take your butt whooping and move on. getting on Facebook. Well, you guys didn't play nobody. Listen, I don't care. First of all, I didn't even say anything. Y'all the one talking about this is y'all year, this, and then you got your butt whooped. It was over in the first quarter.
Whew.
The first, and then they're still talking trash. Like, are you kidding me? Will you just let us be? Just let us be. Y'all ain't play nobody. Are y'all gonna play a college team? Like, what? Fresh off an ass whooping, talking trash. I mean, you know, when you get a whooping and your butt still, you can't sit. Y'all couldn't sit and you're still talking. Like, and now you want Urban Meyer. What? What? We may get Urban. The desperation to be relevant is just funny to me. Now you want Urban Meyer. First you're dissing him. Oh, his head hurts and he quits and he leaves. And now, hey, maybe Urban will come to. You want him to get a bigger headache? Is that what you want?
Ooh.
Come on. Like, just I can't with Michigan fans. Not all of them. I'm not gonna say all of them because I hate when they say all. But the ones that I see on social media just make me want to throw up everything I ate for the past year. You got your butt whooped and you're talking trash. At least let us lose first and then come out of the woodwork. I got nothing for them, man. I just don't know what it is. Like, now you want Urban Meyer. What's next, huh? What's next? Bill Belichick's coming through the door? Is that next? Once Tom Brady leaves, Bill Belichick's coming? Like, I don't know.
It is funny to see the desperation, to read the threads on their fan pages about how it's all over, and man, there's a lot to like there, and I tell you, I spent a lot of my Saturday and Sunday reading about it, just looking at all the comments. Oh, it's just fantastic. I love it. Want to give a huge shout out to Travis Napper on Facebook here, said just switched over, subscribed to YouTube. Travis, thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
Appreciate that.
Lawrence Moore in here, David Diaz, Brian Hudson, Preston Dunn. His one name keeps coming up, a top fan, but it's got some sort of funky font in the name, and I've said before, ain't no way I'm trying to pronounce that one. Appreciate everybody in here, though. Tommy Johnson, Corey Shoemaker, and all the supporters, Nick Zoop. But yeah, so, I mean, like you said, man, they just got absolutely whooped, and I don't know how much of it was Wisconsin is truly elite or the Wolverines are just inept. And I guess we'll find out as the season unfolds, but I mean, they were just dominated from start to finish. I don't know what the hell's going on with their offense. I mean, what's worse, their offense or their defense? I mean, the defense still has some talented players, but they're weak on the defensive line. Did you see what they did, man? They moved, who's it? Ben Mason, who's been their great fullback for the last couple years. They moved him to defensive tackle this year because they needed the depth. And then he gets his first snap of the year. They put him at running back on the first drive of the game out of nowhere, and he fumbles it. It's like, what? You put a defensive tackle back. I mean, what is going on, man? Is that Josh Gaddis at offensive coordinator, who's never called plays before? Brilliant idea there. Or is that Jim Harbaugh? Is he not handing over the reins to the offense? Because they kept preaching speed in space. That's what you're going to see, speed in space. Well, I haven't seen much of that at all.
Julie says they're embarrassing to the Big Ten and heard they're going for Les Miles. No, keep what you got, all right? Keep him. He's a lifer.
They were talking about a lifetime contract for him, last year, 2 years ago? There's always next year, right?
Yeah. And Mike says there were blown gap assignments and the coverage mistakes by the team up north. They have real issues. And Tim over on YouTube, Tim Roberts, our guy, had an interesting comment. He says sound quality is way better on YouTube. Interesting. And he said this is the only Buckeye show he'll watch. I'm happy I tuned in last year. Corey, Jake are great, and can't forget producer G.
I appreciate that, Tim, man. That's very, very kind of you to say. We're missing producer G tonight, although it doesn't look like it because we are looking fresh as ever. G just whipped up this quick graphic on his phone probably while he was on the toilet in 5 minutes, knowing G. But he's not with us tonight. I saw him in the comment section a little bit earlier. He's got to work tonight, though, so appreciate you, Tim. And that's interesting about the audio quality on YouTube. I'll have to look into that. Jimmy Good Game over on Facebook. Now, I don't know if that's your real name or not, but either way.
Repeat that name?
Jimmy Good Game.
Hey, Jimmy Good Game. I like it.
This guy's my boy. I don't know if that's his real name, but he said, breaking news, Stephen A. reports that Jim Harbaugh has applied to Costco. I like that one.
Jimmy Good Game. I like that name.
And, yeah, man. Travis Napper says he's the one with the Perfect 10 Sports Show, so I'll have to give that a shout-out. Travis, appreciate you switching over, subscribing on YouTube. Man, everybody is letting them have it in the comment section. J.D. McGinnis said they can have Jay Gruden. I could see that happening if he gets fired from the Redskins and Harbaugh moves on or resigns.
Listen, man.
That's the thing. Who are they going to replace him with? I mean, anybody better?
He needs to stay. The Perfect 10 Sports Show over on YouTube said the team up north has probably their next toughest opponent this week. Hopefully they can withstand the barrage of the mighty Scarlet Knights and come out with the win.
Their true rivalry game, Rutgers. Rutgers got the better of them a couple years ago. Boy, that was a lovely night. I think Brady Hoke was coaching, so maybe it wasn't...
And you know why I'm loving the demise of the team up north? Because I lived through the agony of when we used to lose to them every single year. I lived through it. Now, I was a youngster, but I still remember it. I remember the pain. I remember the Joe Germain team when we were just killing every single team. And then we lose to the team up north. I remember all the years. So this misery, I just bask in it. This is beautiful. The pain they have to go through every single. And if they lose to us this year, they're going to hate me. They're going to hate my soul. Not my heart, my soul. They better win.
Well, I mean, all the talk in the offseason was, this might be Harbaugh's best team yet. He's finally got the offense he's always wanted. And if he can't beat Ohio State this year with first-year head coach Ryan Day, first-year quarterback transfer Justin Fields in the big house, if he can't do it this year, is he ever going to be able to do it? It's looking mighty fine right now for the Buckeyes down here in Columbus. I mean... I don't know. There's a lot of football to be played. But right now I feel pretty damn confident in these Buckeyes going up north and taking down the Wolverines. It looks like right now their only chance is going to be to play spoiler. And we've been able to shut them down because that's been their MO for the last 15 years is, well, we got to play spoiler. Hasn't really worked out for them so far. So I like where this team is at. But, like I said, a lot of way to go here. At least for the Buckeyes, a lot of questions still to be answered because we haven't played a great opponent yet. The next 4 games will tell us everything we need to know about this team. At Nebraska, home to Michigan State, at Northwestern, home to Wisconsin. Whew, that is a tough 4-game stretch. It's what I talked about a lot in the offseason, looking at the schedule. What do we want to see? And it's going to tell us what we need to know. Now, at the same time, the Wolverines have a hell of a ride as well because they've still got to play Sparty. I think they get Michigan State at home, but they have to go at Penn State, Corey, for a whiteout. And we know all there is to know about Penn State whiteouts. They suck. I hate them.
Hmm.
They're brutal.
But we've had some of our best performances there, though. Woo!
Some
Man.
exciting ones for sure, but it's always weird. It's always tough. Probably the toughest place to play in the Big Ten. And the Wolverines got to go at Penn State. They have to host Michigan State, and then they have to play Notre Dame too. I mean, Notre Dame looked pretty good. They did lose to Georgia, but they put up a good fight. I do think it knocks them out of the playoff race, but they kept it close at least to keep their names relevant if all hell breaks loose, and they could still get in. But I mean, this could very, very easily be 8-4, 7-5 type of year for the Wolverines, and if that happens, I don't know. I mean, can they fire Harbaugh? He's got a hell of a buyout.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Timothy Roberts says, what about what Woodson said about them on Natty Telly LOL? And Buckeye Eagle says, hey guys, long time no see. How about that Miami game? That's over on YouTube. What up, Buckeye Eagle? Long time no see.
Absolutely, man. We've been away on YouTube for a long time, but we figured out how to get it back up and running. So appreciate you tuning in. Hit that subscribe button for us if you don't mind. That Miami game was something else. And what did Tim say? Something about Charles Woodson on TV? He said Charles Woodson was talking about how he's just embarrassed. And I feel bad for him. Oh, I honestly feel bad for the guy because it's
Charles Woodson. I respect. I do. It's just these tacky fans that get on my nerves. It's the fans that are tacky, not all of them. But I be minding my business. Now, I know we ain't played the greatest of competition. I'm just minding my business, and I'm reading all this stuff. Now, in all seriousness, we're going to get some tests, too. We're going to see how good we really are, like you said, in this stretch coming up. We're going to see how good we really are, what we need to work on, and what we're really good at. We're going to see. Now, if we're dominant in this stretch, oh, boy. Hard to shut me up.
I mean, I don't have a lot of concerns right now looking at the team. It's just the unknown, like we haven't had these tests yet. Because you watch the team, you're like, I don't see a weakness here. I don't see a weakness there. I can't find one anywhere. Coaching staff? How about special teams, man? We haven't even talked about what a great job Matt Barnes has done. I remember when Ryan Day made him the final assistant head coach, I was like, who the hell is Matt Barnes? He was special teams at Maryland last year. Well, okay, cool. Well, in 4 games, we've blocked 3 kicks. We've been this close to scoring on about 3 or 4 different returns. Matt Barnes is the real deal, man. Chase Young's got a block. Chris Olave's blocked punts. I mean, we're blocking everything. Major ups to that. A definite improvement over Urban Meyer's special teams, I'd have to say. But right now, looking at the team, I can't find a weakness. And so I'm excited to see what sort of adversity comes in the next 4 weeks for the Buckeyes, because I think that's going to be a defining stretch for this team. We're going to find out about this team. And like you said, if we look dominant after those 4 games, I'm starting to, I tell you, man, this Ryan Day fella, I think he knows what he's doing.
Hey man, people are prisoner of the moment. So I'm not one of those guys most of the time. Sometimes I can be. I'm not gonna lie. I keep it real. But Marcus Spears, I don't know if anybody heard of him. He said Daniel Jones was better than Baker Mayfield after 1 game of football. I said, Lord. So people are prisoner of the moment. So if Ryan Day goes through this skid and we look great, there's going to be some people that go, whoa, greatest coach of all time. I'm like, whoa. But feather to the cap of that guy, because he looks great so far. We got some comments on YouTube. The Perfect 10 Sports Show says, the only worry he has for the Buckeyes is Justin Fields getting comfortable. It's great that he has time to throw, but he needs a little quicker at times in his decisions in the pocket, and he hit that right on the nail. I agree with him on that.
I got a good comment from John Ainwich over here on, or Ainwich, something, over here on Facebook. John says, what's up, my dudes? Jim's definitely on his way out, going to lose more games. Just wait and see this year, man. Woo, they got a hell of a stretch. Go Bucks. Appreciate you, John. And he said, by the way, loved the run around the house. Oh, man. I had forgotten about that when Damon Arnett had a pick six. But I'm sure that's on our previous post. You can go back and watch that if you missed it. But somebody made a great point about Justin Fields maybe needing to be a little quicker with his release, get the ball out a little bit quicker. He does tend to just sit back in the pocket like he's got all day. Mm-hmm. He could sit down and read a book while he's back there. Well, that's great. And I love the fact that he feels that way and he's calm. But that has been something that's a little worried me so far, as he's a little almost too lax back there, and it can get him sacked. It's like, throw the ball away, man. That's something they got to work on, I think. But it's easy to fix those little details. You know what I mean? It's not like we got major problems right now.
I agree with the Perfect 10 Sports Show on that. To me, I think he's fighting his inner self. And what I mean by that is he wants to prove he's a quarterback so bad that he doesn't want to run. Like, he has it there to run, and he's like, nah, I'm going to show y'all I can throw the football. I'm like, man, listen, we know you can throw. Take the 5 yards and get out of bounds. It's okay. I'm going to throw this ball. And I think to me, that's what it looks like sometimes. Like, just run if nobody's open. You slid. We know you can do it. Get down. Live to see another play. Instead of taking a blindside sack, because the line ain't going to block forever. It's just not going to happen and make things worse. So I think sometimes that's what happens with him. But I agree with the Perfect 10 Sports Show. That's one thing I worry about, because once the competition ramps up, you ain't going to have 25 seconds to throw the ball. Make a decision.
Good thing we've got good 4-game stretch here to figure that out and then polish some things up before the final 2 games of the season, Penn State and at the Wolverines. Whew. And then maybe God willing, a spot in the Big Ten title game, maybe against Wisconsin. We'll see. A rematch there maybe. And then, yeah, man, if we get to the playoffs, those defensive lines are no joke. We're not going to have nearly as much time to throw back there. So we'll get that figured out. Supporter David Hemphill posed a good question on Facebook here. Said, question, is Illinois really good this year to almost beat Nebraska, or was Nebraska just having an off day? I don't think the Buckeyes have anything to worry about this weekend. Good question. I think this is Lovie Smith's best Illinois team since he's been there. Now, that's not saying much, okay? But they do have a lot of talent. They brought in a lot of transfers. And they'll have a couple more guys next year transferring in, good players. And they're a pretty good team. But Nebraska should have beat the piss out of them. Nebraska beat Illinois last week 42-38. Whew, nail biter for the Huskers. Are you kidding me? Maybe they were looking ahead to the Buckeyes. Wouldn't be the first time that's happened to a team. But what happened is, and the big thing really is they had 5 turnovers. They really dominated the game, but they turned it over 5 times and gave Illinois a shot. They hung in there. They gave Illinois possessions at the 2-yard line and the 9-yard line. You give the other team the ball inside your own 10 twice, I'm not sure you deserve to win. But they hung in there. They got the job done. They're 3-1. They're about to add another L on Saturday, though. I tell you what. I don't know. I mean, Illinois is much better than they have been, but they're not that good. Nebraska should have beaten them by 3 touchdowns. But that's what happens when you turn the ball over. And that's part of the reason why I think Ohio State has looked so dominant this season so far, is that they haven't really turned the ball over. Fields has 1 turnover. J.K. Dobbins has a fumble. Master Teague has a fumble. I think that's about it.
Yeah, I can't. Your boy fumbled, but I think we got it back.
Which one?
KJ Hill. A couple of them. Right?
That's right.
Yeah.
A little bit of, I mean, but
yeah, but we don't have them glaring turnovers. So mistake-free football, you're going to win. But 5 turnovers and you win by 14, that's, man, you can't ask for more than that.
No, they won by 4.
Oh, 4, at least at 14, okay.
Oh, no, I mean, they squeaked it out, man. It's a tight one. 5 turnovers will do that. So I look for the Buckeye defense this weekend to play aggressive. Go make some plays. Go be those ball hawks in the secondary, silver bullets, punching balls out, hitting hard. Clearly they're turnover prone. They got a young quarterback. Adrian Martinez is a sophomore. He played all last year. He's a very, very talented kid, but can make mistakes, especially with Chase Young coming off the edge. I mean, hell, that dude. Is there any doubt in your mind, Corey, that Chase Young is going to be the first non-quarterback taken in the draft?
Man, listen. No disrespect, because the guy just balled out. And I got to apologize to him because I called him out. But you never know with these NFL teams, because Daniel Jones was taken way higher than what anybody expected. And I was the first one saying, what? He looked pretty good. So you never know. But if teams think with their head and don't overthink, he should be the first non-quarterback picked if everything goes according to plan. And I'm going to leave it at that.
I heard Daniel Jones is better than Mayfield.
Yeah, according to Marcus Spears, you beat Tampa Bay.
The chip shot field goal, too, at the end that would have won it.
Right. That was... And listen, man, you're going to get me started. You took a delay of game to move them back because you thought your kicker is better farther away. What logic in football does that make? You know, I don't think he could make a 32-yarder, but a 37-yarder? Sign me up for that. What? What? Overthinking it. But hey, they get paid the big bucks, so I guess, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's why we're sitting here talking, and they're getting paid millions and millions and millions of dollars a year, I guess. So good for them, I suppose. Well, we got about 10 minutes left here, so let's talk about some score predictions, some bold predictions, keys to the game. I want to hear them in the comments section, please. Let's hear your score predictions. I know we got a little bit of them earlier, but the Buckeyes are favored by about 17 in the game. It's a 7:30 kick on ABC, as you can see there on the bottom of your screen. I do believe that the Buckeyes will cover that 17. I think it's just going to be a talent gap situation again. Now, I kind of talked about this with the Cincinnati game. They're going to play us tough. It's going to be a tough environment. We're probably not going to be in tip-top shape, extra sharp at the beginning of the game. I think we'll kind of settle in, make some halftime adjustments, and then in the second half, it's going to be pretty clear who the better team is, and Ohio State pulls away comfortably. But I don't think this is a blowout from the get-go, Corey. I don't think so. I don't know. What are your thoughts on the game?
I got a couple scores here I'm going to read off first. Perfect 10 says 49-24. Buckeye Eagles says 38-14. I kind of feel like you feel. The home team always comes out with emotion. The crowd's going to be loud. They'll probably defer if they win the toss. They want their defense out there to be rabid. They want to try to get a 3-and-out. They want to just be, all off emotion. Scripted plays, watch out for those. Listen, I'm prisoner of the moment, too. What is going on with our defense? We suck. We are oh, my God. Listen, they're scripted. They've practiced these first 15 to 20 plays. We got this quick slant screen run. And then once we settle down, we're going to see who the better team is. They're ready. They're going to come out with emotion, try to punch them in the face. That's what Nebraska's going to try to do. I think once we get settled down, calm down, Woo's quarterback will go against. He'll give us the ball. He'll give us the ball. Chase Young, get after that man. I think we'll come away with the victory. I know we're not giving away a score yet, but that's how I see the game happening.
I dig it, man. I'm with you. A few score predictions on Facebook. Brian McGee says 42-10. Chris Hersey 38-17. Scott Ewing 45-10. David Hemphill and Randy Hill both agree 54 to 9, 54 to 7. 55-10. Derek Browning says 52-13. Says Sean Skelton, Kerry Lynn 50 to 24. John Goddard in here 58 to 6. And Randy Hilch says, "Bring on Wisconsin." we'll be getting Wisconsin here in a few weeks. October 26th it is. So there will be time for that. I want to see our team grow before that one. But I think these are all fair. I'm not sure. I don't know if we can put it up in the 50s. I guess I don't think. I mean, Nebraska's defense isn't that good. They allow 240 yards through the air every game and about 130 or so on the ground. We should be able to run whatever we want against this team, against this defense. So if everybody's crisp, if we've got a good game plan, which we have in all 4 games so far, I like the Buckeyes' chances to put up 40s, 50s, but it's just something different with the road environment. It's going to be loud. It's going to be tough. We're gonna face some adversity we haven't seen before. So my score prediction is Ohio State 42, Nebraska 20. I think they're gonna be able to make enough plays on offense to where they, being Nebraska, I think 20 points is probably reasonable. I don't think that 42-20 is necessarily. It's going to be close in the first half. I'm looking at something like 17-14, something like that, and then Ohio State just runs away at the end. But that's, it's funny, Corey. That's actually not the score I wrote down. So maybe something has changed over the course of the show. I want to hear yours, and we'll go from there, because 42-20, I think is what I said. 45-24, somewhere in that area, a 21, 22-point win. I think Buckeyes win by 3 touchdowns.
TYWA14 says 45-20 on YouTube. And on Facebook, John Goddard said they barely beat Illinois. I think they come in, like I said, that's Illinois. Oh, phooey, this is Ohio State. And it could be that. What was the one year we went to Nebraska and just blew the doors off? Like, oh my, what is going on? I know ABC was like, we didn't see this coming. Lord Jesus, maybe we should put it on at 3:30. But I see everybody in the 50s, 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 the 50s. I haven't seen a 60 yet. Where is that 60 at? I'm gonna go 45. I feel in there somewhere. I'm going to go 45-20 Buckeyes.
Okay.
45-20.
I think that's fair. I think that's a pretty realistic shot. Somewhere in between 3 and 4 touchdowns is what I think it ends up being. Bold predictions wise, I think Justin Fields has 5 touchdowns. He's just going to continue his Heisman campaign. And look great doing it. And then I look for, I've said this before, it hadn't happened yet, but we're gonna get a touchdown in the return game, whether it's punt return, kick return, DeMario McCall, Garrett Wilson, whoever it seems to be. I think it's gonna happen this time. Northwestern, Nebraska has really struggled with their kick coverage, and I think that's gonna. We're very close. We're very close to busting one, and I think it happens this week.
All right. My bold prediction, it's not really a bold prediction, but I'm going back to the J.K. Dobbins well again. He didn't have a game last week. He has something about him on the road in prime time. There's something with him in that. I don't know what it is. The TCU game, he just ran like a man possessed. I think we're going to have one of those games again. When he has a subpar game, he usually follows up with watch this. J.K. Dobbins. Last time I said this, he almost doubled my yardage. So I'm going to go 173 yards and 3 touchdowns for J.K. 3 total touchdowns. I don't care how you get them. J.K. Dobbins, 173, 3 total touchdowns for J.K. Dobbins.
That sounds good to me. I am all for the J.K. hype. We just didn't need him last week. I mean, he was in for, I think he got like 8 carries or something, had like 65 yards. I mean, he made do with his time, but we didn't need him. There's no sense in playing him up 40, in the second half. So you're right, man. He's hungry. He wants to come out, show, don't forget about me now. Don't forget about J.K. Dobbins. So I love that. John Goddard says Dobbins and Master Teague combined for 320 and 3. J.D. McGinnis says Master Teague gets 100 yards. He's been great, man. I love that kid.
Josh Robideau, I cannot take credit for this. That was my brother. I cannot take credit. He asked, do I smell another Arnett pick 6? I do not take credit. That's all Clyde Boyd the third on that one. You will have to ask him if he smells another Arnett pick 6 in the works. Jake, don't make no more bets.
I'm not doing it. I am not doing it. I learned my lesson. For those of you that don't know, 2 weeks ago against Indiana, I was asking bold predictions. Clyde Boyd said Arnett pick 6, and I laughed. Oh, did I laugh? Oh, did I laugh?
And the Perfect 10 Sports Show says bold prediction, defense, and special teams combines for 3 touchdowns.
Woo, that is a bold prediction.
I'll take that.
That's a big one. Sean Skelton says 28-0 Ohio State at half. David Hemphill Olave will have 2 block punts for touchdowns. Josh says, I think Nebraska will score more than we think, 45-28. David Diaz, Javonte has been playing pretty strong. Javonte Jean-Baptiste on the edge. Agree with him. He's been playing well. And Scott Ewing says, need JK to hit 200 this week. Carrie says Teague will have 125 and 1. And she just wants us to run the ball down their throats. I love that. I mean, Nebraska can't really defend the run, and they certainly can't defend the pass. It should be a very, very good game for the Buckeyes on offense. It'll be a good test for our new look defense with this spread offense, very talented offense Nebraska has. So we'll see. I think they score a couple early, maybe 14 in the first half, but it's going to be slim pickings in the second half, as I like to say. So 45-24, what did you say? 45-20, I said 42-20, something like that. I think that's pretty accurate.
I got one more. Sorry.
What's up?
I got one more here. Buckeye Eagles says bold prediction. Fields has his first 300-yard game.
It has been interesting. He's been passing for like 230 or so. Now he hadn't, we haven't played a full game as a team yet. So I think we'll get that on Saturday night. And Fields is going to go off. It's going to be outrageous, but I'm excited to see what happens. Over the next few days, I'm sure we'll bring the supporters a video, maybe do a little something on Thursday, maybe something on Saturday, a little pregame show. We're not so sure yet, but we'll figure it out. We always do. As always, appreciate everybody in the comments for tuning in. Give us a like, a share, and please subscribe to our YouTube page, Everything Buckeye Nation. It's free. You don't got to do anything, so why not? For producer G, we miss him tonight. He'll be back soon, I'm sure. That's Corey Boyd. I'm Jake Smith signing off. As always, go Bucks and OH.
I-O. Peace.
See you next